So Gears of War 3 puts an end to Epic Games' sci-fi themed trilogy. Huge expectations, and you know what? The game actually delivers both in the single player and multiplayer offerings. The new and improved Horde mode, which is just awesome. They've totally overhauled it. And my personal favorite is Beast mode. It's basically an inversion of Horde mode, but it lets you play as the Locust Horde. And it's cool too because each of the different monster classes play very differently. They move differently. They have their different, strengths and weaknesses. And it actually feels like a much different game. It doesn't even feel like playing Gears. In terms of cons, there's really not a whole lot to bitch about with Gears 3. One of the bigger things that I felt that it lacked was developing some of the backstories of these newer characters. I wish they would have spent a little bit more time fleshing out, who these people are. There's a lot of new faces in Gears 3, and I think that it gets a little garbled amidst, the larger story that they're telling. In my official review, I gave the game 4.5 stars out of 5. I definitely buy the game. I mean, if you're gonna play a Gears game, you got to play Gears of War 3, and it's not too late to get into the series.
So I've been playing Gears of War 3 for about 3 or 4 hours at this point. It's actually been really entertaining. I was surprised. It's much more colorful and vibrant environment than previous Gears of War titles. I feel like the first one has a kind of reputation for being nothing but grays and brown coloring. Combat is still very, very tight. The characters are actually more fleshed out now, and I find them much more tolerable than they were the first couple of games. There are a bigger cast of characters, and you kind of get a sense of the camaraderie and also the desperation. Things I didn't really care for. The game is still very focused on about, waist-high cover that you're going to be going on. The melee combat is not as smooth as I really would like it to be. So, sometimes you'll be able to trigger that melee attack that you want to use, other times you will not. And that's really frustrating. It's not as integral an element to the combat as I would like. I would like the smooth transition from shooting a guy to chainsawing a guy to out of that. Well, that said, Gears of War 3 still has some of the best set pieces I've seen on a shooter title in years. Just some really, really cool character development parts, but also some really, really just great times where you get to blow shit up. I'd rent it. I think this is a campaign that I'm going to basically blow through in another 10 hours, if that. And I don't think I'll come back to this. I want to see how the story ends. That's, I think, something that the game has really done a good job of. And then the opening couple hours really making you care about the characters, but also making you care about the overarching plot.
I have my copy of it, which I've just barely started to play, but in the last couple of months I've had the opportunity to play the game kind of in some spurts. At E3 I got to play a bunch of the Horde mode. At an event a month or two ago I got to play a couple hours of the single player. I've played a little bit of the Beast mode. This is a game that I was super excited for. It's Gears, it's a big deal. But based on what I've played so far, it's fantastic. It's what it's supposed to be. It's a AAA title, that kind of defines what a big, gaming moment is. But if there's anything to knock it for, it's that it basically is just still Gears of War. It's got some new little tweaks to it. The Horde mode has been improved greatly. The Beast mode's awesome. But basic core mechanics, pretty much the same thing, and that's not a bad thing. So my preliminary vote on buy, rent, or burn is buy, but I don't know. I don't see it really, in my opinion, changing that much once I even finish the game.